Hey artists, let's make these awesome Dia de los Muertos prints. Follow along with me for all the steps. Okay, to get started, we need to get our skull shape on our page. The best way to do that and make sure it stays nice and big is to make like a big rainbow line that goes across your page. Just from one edge to the next. Then, down here, going to put a little U shape for the chin. Now there's some different ways we can connect these. I've seen where there's kind of a sharp cheekbone. I've seen where it just kind of comes down and curves. We can do kind of a rounded cheekbone, where we want to put our little cheeks in and connect the top of the head down to the chin. Next, we're going to add some eyes. You could do round eyes, you could do heart-shaped eyes. We want to add the eyes to our skull. And we just remember that anything we add on here, we're going to have to trace with pen. So what I do is put kind of my basic lines on here, and then I add more lines once I start working on the piece of styrofoam. So we can add some decoration inside the eyes, but when I add all the fun decoration outside of the eyes, I might wait to do that on the styrofoam. I do need to do a nose. Some people like to do the upside down heart shape. So I might turn this upside down and get my little upside down heart. We want to add a nice smile. So you can kind of just draw the line where you want your smile. You can add the teeth. There's a lot of different ways that we can design this, but I'm just going to kind of put the teeth on like this. So we're just putting our basic design together first, and then we can add all of the fun line designs to this. Okay, I'm liking this basic idea. Maybe I'm going to put a big flower up here, and I'll try to kind of get that going on here so that I can then trace it. Okay. Got a little flower going. I might put some big leaves. You might put a heart. You might do some line designs. I'm feeling pretty good about this design. I'm gonna get ready to take this and add it over to my piece of styrofoam and work on it from there. Okay, I've got my paper and I've got my piece of styrofoam, and the paper is just a little bit smaller than the styrofoam. So I'm just gonna put a couple pieces of tape so it doesn't move around while I am tracing. So I'm going to put two little pieces at the top, maybe two small pieces at the bottom. All right, now it's not going to fall off. And what we're going to do is take our basic shape here and we're going to trace over those pencil lines with this pen. And that is going to push our design onto our background page. So we're just going to take our time and trace every line we drew. Now, like I said, all the other fun details, we will just add right onto the styrofoam. That way you're not having to draw everything 2 times. But it's nice to draw our basic shape on the paper first, just to make sure that we've got the skull shape how we want it, eyes, nose, mouth, and then we can add all the fun details. Okay. Now that we've traced, we're going to very carefully peel the tape, trying not to rip this. And it's hard to see on the film, but there are the indentations. We are going to trace over these with our pen again so that we can see what we drew. So we're just going to take our pen and go deep back over the lines. This is going to make the indentation a little harder, which is good for our printing plate. We need to make sure that it's pushed down enough that when you run your finger over it, you can feel that that ridge. So I'm going to trace over all of our lines, and then we can start adding some detail. Okay, I added lots of line design details, and I made sure that I pushed hard enough that it does make an indentation on the foam. Once your printing plate is complete, we're going to grab a messy mat. And we're also going to grab a piece of newsprint paper. Now I've got the newsprint paper underneath, messy mat under that, got my paint tray and my brayer. You want to roll the paint out till it makes that kind of sticky clicky sound. And we are going to roll paint across our printing block. Now, where it's nice and thick is going to work, but if it's light like this, you're going to need to add another layer of ink until your entire block is covered in ink. Once you have the ink all over, then we are going to take your piece of paper and carefully, slowly line it up to make sure that it's right on there. Then we're going to grab another piece of the newsprint. And this way we don't get ink all over your hands. Put it on top, and we're going to rub corner to corner. We're not hitting, we're not using our fingers, we're using our open palm, and we're going to rub corner to corner all down the edges and all through the middle to get all the details transferred and that ink transferred from the plate onto our piece of paper. Once you have rubbed the whole thing down, we're going to carefully peel that back, peel this off, and wow, look at that beautiful design. We can take this and go ahead and toss it. We're going to set this on the drying rack to dry. While this guy's drying, we can go ahead and decorate what's going to be the frame around it. So I'm going to just kind of set that to the side. And we could just have some different line designs, whatever you're thinking. And these are those construction paper crayons, and they just show up nice and bright. And you can add some leaves or flowers or whatever you would like to decorate with. And then once you're satisfied with that, we can take some scrap paper and we can add some designs with the scrap paper as well. So you could just make some line designs around the edge. And then we can grab some scrap paper, some scissors, and we could even cut some little flower designs. So we're thinking about all those bright colors we saw when we were looking at Dia de los Muertos, and you can just kind of add whatever you feel would make this look bright and exciting. So we're just kind of giving a little extra on our page here. And once you've got some designs, you can go ahead and glue them down with a glue stick, and then we will be ready to add our picture to the center. Okay, I've got a cool little frame design around my page, and I'm ready to take that awesome print that we created, if it's dry, And we're just going to add some glue to the back and carefully set it in the center of our frame that we created. So I'm getting some glue around the edges and a nice squiggle through the middle to keep it down. And I want to try to place it as evenly as I can in the center. And I think that looks so cool. I can't wait to see the prints that you create.